Hey guys, Prabpreet here. So I just got back from my India trip. I was there for about 20 days, more or less. And in this video, I just want to go over all the camera equipment I took with myself. To be very honest, there were many times where I didn't actually get to use some of the things I took with me. So I'm gonna go over all my gear and let you guys decide how much stuff do you actually need on a 3 to 4 week vacation to a country like India. So first of all, I want to mention that I took my Lowepro 350 second version backpack. I actually really like this backpack because it can fit all of my gear in it. However, it does get really heavy at times and really uncomfortable because I promise that's because of the gear inside of it, not the backpack itself. It also has one big pocket at the top, two on the sides, a 15-inch laptop sleeve, two more pockets on the inside of the sleeve, a lot of space for my camera gear as well. And these straps that go all around the backpack that can be used to attach anything to them. For example, I could hang my headphones, my travel neck pillow, my travel tripod, etc. All you need is a solid hole in the object for you to put a carabiner through itself and the backpack straps. This way, you can carry almost everything on your back, even if it doesn't fit inside the backpack. So for cameras, I took two of my Sony a7 Mark III's on this trip. A7 Mark III is great for video and photos, so it makes for more uses from less gear. But just to have one camera only for video footage, I took a DJI Osmo Action. Alongside my A7 Mark III's, I took my Sigma 85mm 1.4, Sigma 35mm 1.4, Sony Zeiss 24-70 f4, and a Rokinon 14mm 2.8, which I never got to use actually in the whole trip since I had my ultra-wide lens on my iPhone 11 Pro. I also took the 82mm Peter McKinnon Polar Pro 2 to 5 stop variable ND filter with step-up rings so I could adapt them to different lenses. However, I actually just used them on 67mm lenses and actually got it screwed too tight on the lens. Used a plier to take it off. I know, risky business. I love using this filter so I can control the exposure much quickly without changing too many settings and thinking too much about it. And it's super necessary for any long exposure shots as well. I also took ND filters for my DJI Osmo Action, which I didn't use either because the whole point of this camera was to shoot, run and gun and not have to worry about setup. For audio, I took the Rode Wireless Go microphone set with me, but I didn't have any occasions where I used it, but it was tiny, so I don't actually regret taking it with me. For editing and backup, I took my 15-inch MacBook Pro from 2019 that edits fairly fast with a SanDisk 2TB SSDs. So for battery usage, I also took 8 extra A7 Mark III batteries with me for backup alongside with 2 dual chargers. DJI Osmo Action, I took an extra battery which really worked out great as a backup battery. I also had 2 battery banks from Anker which helped me keep my phone and some other electronics charged up when I didn't have a power outlet available as well. To have enough storage, I cleared up all of my SD cards and took the fast V30 170 megabits speed 256 gigabyte cards, and trust me, these two cameras and with these two cards in them, it lasted me all of the trip and even had some space left over. Another similar versions of 128 gigabyte micro SD cards lasted me as well for my DJI Osmo Action camera as well. I took a Zion VBIL S for video stabilization and a very small softbox by Glow that has a very small footprint while it's compressed. It also has an attachment that goes directly in the bulb mount of my Godox AD200 instead of going into a Bowens mount. And of course, as I mentioned, I took my AD200 strobe to get some cool portraits of my family as well. So to end this video, I want to mention the things that I loved having on the trip were my Sony a7 Mark III's. Having two really makes it easier for me to shoot with different lenses without changing anything. I loved having 24-70 and 35mm with the variable ND filter on it. 24-70 is probably one of my least favorite lenses to use because of it just being so basic, but for travel, trust me, it is one of the most lenses that gives out the most usability to me. In future, I would only travel with these lenses or even get that Sigma 24-70 at 2.8 that Sigma just released. If I were you, I would stay away from taking an additional gimbal or a stabilizer, especially if you're going to take an action camera that has a feature like Rocksteady, which gives you super smooth footage handheld. So this is about all the gear that I took with me to India. If you guys made a recent trip somewhere and took gear with yourself to photograph and film your experiences, please share what you took in the comments below. And again, if you have any questions, please make sure to ask them in the comments down below as well. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.